Is there any way? Is there any way 5 shots can be pulled off with a guy in the clubhouse, Rory McIlroy at 7 under? Scottie Scheffler is on 17, a buck 89 to the hole in the trees. How close is he gonna hit this? 2 feet, 3 feet?
I think we gotta take this moment, right, and just say like, "Hey, what an idiot out there in the trees!
What a hack!
Hope you don't get tick, bud."
Blew away. He's just chipping it out. He's playing it safe.
He's gonna finish. He's double and win by 1.
Oh my! If he finishes at 8, Cam Smith is gonna be kicking himself.
Sick to his stomach.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so before we get into this Scottie Scheffler suckfest, that is an alliteration.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
That's quite the
that's a tongue
sentence.
twister.
Let's discuss a little bit about what went on today and what we saw from everybody else other than this final group, because we saw some great play and we saw an absolute disaster from our guy, Cam Smith. But let's talk a little like Rory McIlroy. Is there any better golfer on the planet than Rory McIlroy out of contention on a Sunday at Augusta National?
That's exactly it. It's wild.
Oh, dude.
Like, it just makes you wish that there were more majors where he'd actually set himself up in good position.
Exactly. I mean, and I know everybody can do math here, but he was +1 to start today. What if he was -3, -4? Like, not even, you know. And
it's not asking much.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. But, yeah, that's not asking that much, I feel like. And he just turns it on Sunday, and I honestly feel like when he's on with his driver, there is not a single better driver of the golf ball in the world right now than Rory McIlroy. So go ahead.
Rory McIlroy. If you take the scores away from it, take Scottie being just the hottest player on the planet. If I told you guys or somebody told us Rory McIlroy is going to lead the field this week in driving distance and greens in regulation, is there any way he loses?
No,
in your mind.
That's pretty much the 2 key stats you're looking for, other than somewhat like not being last in putting. Like, I don't know what he's at in putting, but it's got to be bottom 10%.
Easily. Because other than today, he's 1 over going to today. Who would have thought that the guy that's pushing the most pressure, if that's even a thing at this point, I mean, I'd be shitting down my leg even with the 5-shot lead. 100%, I'd be making 12 and 12. But the guy that's putting the most pressure on the leader is the guy that started like middle of the pack, and Scottie hits it close again.
Of course, tap in par.
Of course,
tap in par,
tap in par.
And
what a douche.
Let me start out by saying this. So shout out our boy Seth Tenike. He's been on this whole Scottie run, bets him almost every tournament. So I'm happy for you. And we are happy for Scottie Scheffler. We're not going to make this seem like we hate the guy.
Exactly.
No, we just hate him right now.
Yeah. It would be so much more fun if we were all sitting here with like a tight butthole
on the edge of our seat,
excited watching the rest of this Masters versus like okay, it's over. And it was pretty much over on 12 today. When Cam Smith rinsed one, and he immediately knew it, and then goes on to not only he made 6, but he completely imploded. Like, you've seen guys make 4 from hitting it in the water. Yeah. He makes 4 there, puts a little pressure on Scottie, and doesn't give him 3 shots, but he makes a 6, gives basically a 3-shot cushion at that point, and then it was kind of over from there. Also, another great round from Colin Morikawa today.
Morikawa awesome.
And Rory McIlroy, same group. Unbelievable finish.
Those 2 bunker shots?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Both chipping in from the bunker on the 18th hole. Rory is a little more important than Collins because Rory's actually was semi-contending at the point. But, I mean, guys like Shane Lowry. Something I found interesting from this Masters, so I looked back at last year. So, looking at the Masters this season, we've got a total of 9 guys under par.
That's insane.
Last Masters, just a year ago, there was 22 guys under par for the tournament.
Oh, Lowry just birdied 18. Got him to 5.
So why do you guys...
Let's go.
After watching this, do you think... is it
the big Irishman? I love that dude. I think he's so mumuch fun to watch.
Probably the most fun guy to hang out with on tour.
Oh, dude, that's what I was telling some of our members the other day. I was like, can you imagine... like a celebration, either like a Ryder Cup win or a major win with Irishmen? Would there be a more fun scenario? I don't think so.
That'd be wild.
Can you delete any more beers than that or group of those guys?
Scotch, like unbelievable. He just seems like he goes out there and he has so much fun. And this year is just weird because Augusta didn't, in my opinion, I could be wrong, People, you can tell me what you think. But Augusta didn't really feel quite like Augusta. Like, it was windy. It was kind of chilly. The greens never really got, like, super crispy. They were never super fast, super firm. It just didn't feel like it had a different kind of teeth to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was tough for different reasons.
Exactly.
It was tough for, like, elemental reasons, which is just kind of no fun.
Yeah.
Like, you're so used to it being played what feels like the exact same way every single time.
Exactly.
The exact same challenges, and there's just the guys who figure out how to attack those. But then when you throw in, like, oh, also there's just going to be 20-mile-an-hour winds, well, that changes everything.
Yeah, well, just
huge.
Boiling how tough it was down to just one hole. They just showed this on the broadcast, but no eagles at 15. That's normally a hole where it hasn't been done since 1965, I believe. So obviously a long time, but that's normally a hole where it's like you get past 12, ideally in a make par there. That's not really a birdie hole. You go 13, 14, 15. You can go 4 under in those 3 holes by just eagling the par 5s. 13 is very gettable at like 510, and 15 way down the hill is also very gettable, and not a single eagle there all week.
Yeah, and like the guys, I mean, they're hitting it a long way, but it doesn't just seem like it's quite as firm, getting to the point where guys have like a mid iron into that hole. And that's and they never really had mid iron, I don't think. I think it's more of a long iron. But yeah, that's shocking to me, because that hole was always very gettable. They always put that pin in kind of the top right corner. And I mean, famously, Tiger Woods' approach there, however many years ago with the club twirl, it's like 4 or 5 feet. But yeah, that's just weird to me, because I remember Cam Smith last year, I think, didn't he hit one to like 6 inches there? At one of the days, the pin was like middle left, and he, for some reason, seared into my brain. But he drew this hybrid around like the trees and hit it to like 6 inches, almost made albatross there. So totally playing different than any Masters we've really ever seen, which I don't know. It's just didn't feel quite like Augusta this week, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, and well, speaking to that too is this golf course. I'd be interested to hear from the players as far as what do they think the toughest tee to green golf course and on the green golf course there is on tour. I would imagine this one's going to be up there for a lot of the guys. A lot of guys haven't played it, your regular tour players, but just goes to show you like what a little bit of weather does. Bless you.
Thank you.
What a little bit of weather does. Thinking like just a year and a half ago in the November Masters, Dustin Johnson shot 20 under.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And granted, that's a different time of the year, but this tournament's supposed to be played in perfect conditions.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And that I think we're kind of getting to the point too where we've always debated what's more fun. A major that is challenging with a little bit higher scores, or a major where it's just a birdie fest, any tournament, Yeah. And for this tournament, I just think it's more fun when dudes are throwing out 65, 66, 67. I mean, Rory, granted, in these conditions, what do you think he would have shot, like, how well he played today? What do you think he would have shot in, like, normal conditions at Augusta?
He could have been
probably 62, 61.
Course record level.
Because this is the 8th ever final round 64 at the Masters.
Huh.
So there are not a lot of those out there. Like,
no.
And especially for how hard it is today. I bet the scoring average, what did Tyrrell Hatton was 17 over?
Yeah, we can discuss our picks a little bit. Not quite the greatest picks. Tiger making the cut, though. Me and Hank talked about that on bets on Tuesday.
It was a lock.
It was a lock. And then he, but Mitchell and I talked about this a couple weeks ago. We had basically a perfect, other than it not being tight down the stretch, we had a perfect Masters in terms of Tiger Woods didn't win, which would have made everybody happy. But at the same time,
incredible.
we don't want to hear the suck fest about Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
But
I'd be down for it.
Everybody's usually down for that.
Like today.
Get in the trees, Scotty.
Today, I didn't see a single shot of Tiger's. And that didn't actually make me that
Somebody
sad.
go pick up his ball.
I will say, first day, though, I was just locked into the feature groups.
Yeah.
I just want to see Tiger. Like, I just needed to see it happen.
Well, honestly, for Tiger, it goes way past the golf. Like, the fact that he was even out there,
Totally.
walked 72 holes, didn't withdraw,
I really thought he was going to be either in contention or withdraw. There's no in between. And one thing I got to air out to you, I almost tweeted this, but I had a feeling I was going to get a lot of slander. I'm just going to throw it out there now. Every time Tiger makes a bad swing, it's somehow an injury. He's I hate that. I can't stand that. He's grabbing his lower back. He's limping. And I'm not giving him shit for limping, obviously. Where he's come from a year and a half ago,
the guy can limp.
Yeah, he can limp for sure, but it's not just because he toe hooked a 5-iron. You know what I mean? Either limp or don't limp, dude. Yeah. It's not about you hitting a bad golf shot. I hate that shit when anybody does it. And I make plenty of other excuses, but I don't act like I'm hurt. And he's done this before. I'm not just talking about this week, but he's done it so many times where he makes a bad swing and all of a sudden he's hurt. And then he's back. The next swing, he looks completely fine. It's kind of almost a flop, the golf equivalent of a flop. Yeah. I don't love it.
Still, it's just so fun to watch that guy play. Especially when you have the storyline, right? Because he gets so much media coverage, everybody knows what's happening. And so you turn on, you wake up at 8:30 and turn on the TV. It's okay, here comes Tiger. Oh, there's Tiger on the range. Swing looks good. Oh, look, there he is. He's walking over to the box. Oh, what's that expression on his face? He looks a little bit tense. You think he's all right? Then he hits that first drive. You're like, oh, no, that's in the sand. That's on line. And then you find out it's a 275-yard drive short of the sand. And you're like, well, wait, does this guy not have it? And then he misses those easy putts. You're like, oh, you're not gonna get those back. And there's
what
the whole
goes on in your
coaster
head,
ride.
bro?
Dude,
it's incredible. It's incredible.
That is incredible.
I just locked into Tiger for that whole day, and it's so much fun.
Well, I will say everybody in this field should be thanking him, and everybody on tour should be thanking him for the payouts.
Oh, absolutely.
And every week, it's there was a good tweet about showing Scottie Scheffler in his follow through. And the bottom of his shoe was the Tiger Woods shoe. And they're like, how do you know you're the best golfer of all time when the hottest golfer in the world, the guy that's about to win the Masters, has your shoes on?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the ultimate flex.
Right.
Yep.
It's like dudes wearing Jordans that, it's similar, paying homage, basically. So, yeah, that's one of the biggest flexes possible.
I will say we do have a little bit of a bone to pick with Scottie Scheffler. Well, we've already done that a few times, and we're going to keep doing it.
We have multiple bones.
And once again, if you didn't hear it earlier, we don't hate Scottie Scheffler. We just wanted it to be a more fun tournament. But his etiquette this week kind of brought to us by one of our friends and made me realize it more today. Today on 12, when Cam was making 6, Scottie made his putt for par and just walked to the next green. Cam's still out on the green. What do you guys think about that? Is that a little bush league or what?
I think that's fine.
I don't love it. Yeah, it's kind of at least I know because it's been done to me. Probably not a good thing. But if you're struggling a little bit and somebody who's playing with you is playing fairly well, that's the sign. Oh, pick it up. Come on, dude. And he's in his own game, which I don't mind. I get that, but at least have some respect. Stand on the side of the green, watch him finish out, and then head over to the hole. There's nothing more demeaning than you're reading a putt, you're grinding it out, and I'm sure Cam Smith doesn't give a baker's fuck what Scottie Scheffler thinks.
That's on brand. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he cares, but at the same time, it's just a respect thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't love that.
At the same time though, so I was the number 3, I think my freshman and sophomore year on my high school golf team. And when you're the number 3, sometimes you get paired with good golfers and sometimes you get paired with bad golfers. The variance is very, very wide there.
Oh yeah.
And when you play with the good golfers, you play a lot better than when you play with the bad golfers.
For sure.
Somehow that does trace. And when you're holding a lead in the Masters and you're watching this guy just fall apart in front of you,
no,
I would not want to stand there and watch somebody just melt down.
There's definitely something to that, for sure. But at the same time, it's just a courtesy thing. You don't have to watch it. I remember there's been times in tournaments where I'll watch a guy miss a 2-footer, and then I have a 2-footer, and I'll miss it. It'll put it in my head, and I'll fucking miss it. And I'm like, why did I watch that? But it's not. The fact that you could even think of blaming that on your playing opponent or whatever, that's just kind of bullshit. So I don't know. Scottie, he's just a very in his own game kind of guy. I don't think we've mentioned either. Ted Scott is on his bag. I think full time now. And that's Bubba's old caddy.
Huh.
So that's got to have something to do with how much Ted knows. about this course, having already won it twice with Bubba. So I definitely think there's something there. Oh, yeah, stay on top of that ridge.
It's terrible that we do this with golf, though. But
I
then
know,
how
it
do you
sucks.
not?
It sucks.
Like, we all just want it to come down to a playoff, even though it can't happen. It's just like, yeah.
Well, Spencer and I also had a ticket that would have cashed like a couple grand if Smith would have won. So
let's get into kind of a, as Scottie goes up to 18, like his wife, is she getting tired of doing this? It's fucking every week now. It's since the Waste Management, it's fucking tears. Look at her.
Look at the ball.
I'm super happy for her and them, but like
save the corny shit for later. Like
you're crying every other week now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like she's about to be sponsored by like wet wipes or like makeup remover. Like, it's just falling off of her every week.
Dude, why is your wife always crying? I just keep fucking winning golf tournaments.
I mean, every time you make like $2 million or whatever, though, you're gonna get old teary.
Okay, but let's be real here. I was talking to one of my buddies from Dallas, really good player who used to caddy at Dallas Athletic Club. He was like a +2 or a +3 at his peak, but he goes, Scottie's from University Park, which is in North Dallas, which is the nicest, most affluent, wealthy area of
He's a great golfer.
So are we going to wealth shame Scottie Scheffler? Is that what we're doing here?
No, but why are they crying? Is she crying into her Gucci purse? Like, she probably went to SMU, drove a Maserati in college, had dad's credit card on spring break, and she's like, oh my God, I can finally get off dad's cell phone bill. Like, what the fuck, man? I don't love that. It's like, be appreciative, but
So he's like 25. She's got to be around that age.
He's made $10 million this year. Like, what are you crying about?
The last $2 million, it doesn't matter. You don't care about that.
Get some real fucking problems, lady.
All right, so before we let Mitchell just keep going off on this fucking tangent,
I'm sorry.
We do have a question from somebody, Nick. He said, I haven't gotten to watch today due to work. Can you get a quick recap of what's happened today? So we had Scottie starting at 9 under, Cam Smith at 6. That lead was closed to 2 in one hole. Cam made birdie on 1. Scottie made par. The second hole, it was also closed again. Scottie hit it in the bunker, didn't get up and down at the par 5. Cam did, and it was fully on.
The momentum swing was real.
The Cam Smith ticket had me bricked up at that point. I'll be fully honest. And then we moved to 3, and Cam makes bogey. Cam goes back-to-back bogeys, so 3 and 4. Then it got to 6 and 10, and wasn't really all that exciting. Scottie made birdie at 7. And so now it's they both made birdie at 7. So we got to 7 and 11, still a 4-shot swing. And then on 10 is where it got really interesting because Scottie made bogey on 10, and Cameron Smith had to chip out of the trees on 10, had a wedge in, hits it to like 4 feet. So now all of a sudden, when Cam Smith looked like he was completely dead in the water, tournament was over, he basically almost flipped the script. Scottie ends up making bogey, tapping in for bogey. Cam Smith had, and this just goes to show you Augusta and how tough it is, he had about a 4 or 5 footer for par that broke about a foot to 2 feet right. And all of us being right-handed golfers knowing
those putts are ass.
The hardest putt in golf.
Yeah.
Especially since you kind of feel like you should make it. Is he just going to make this and drive it into our
Get off
hearts?
the green. Go!
Into the water.
Yeah.
But
find a bunker.
After the...
Oh, yeah. Show her crying again.
It's
like at the NCAA tournament when they keep showing these coaches like teenage daughters. Like, what does that have to do with the game?
Do they do that?
Oh, yeah. Huh. Did you watch the tournament?
I guess I looked away when the teenage daughters were
okay.
I didn't.
Teach their own. But no, it's just like, what does this have to do with the golf? Like, I bet that sponsors are going to start approaching his wife because she's on TV more than half of these players are. Like Corey Connors today. And I don't like coverage. Let's put it this way. The coverage has been really good, extensive. They've definitely broadened it. But I didn't see Corey Connors hit a single golf shot today.
He was not on the broadcast once and finished 6th.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck?
One of our long shots to win it, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, credit to me. He didn't win, but it was a pretty good pick. But yeah, I didn't see him make a single or swing a single club today, which is just so weird to me. I will never understand why they do that with golf. But
Well, and basically, so to finish up that little recap, we can't go hole by hole because that bores people and we'll have just people turning off the stream. But on 12, Amen Corner, the par 3 is where everything really changed. Cam was, after birdieing 11, which basically was the most intense moment. Birdie at 11 got it back to a 3-shot deficit, 8 holes to go. You're feeling pretty good about Cam's chances. And he rinsed one on 12, hit it a little fat, and ended up making 6. And just from there, and Scottie hit one, there's left, and then there's fucking left. And Scottie hit one fucking left on 12, left of the green, but he had the whole green to work with, chipped it up, and I don't know the exact numbers on, I believe, I want to say he missed 8 greens today. He had missed 6 through 12, 6 or 7 already.
He scrambled pretty damn well.
His scrambling was incredible. And any putt that he had a chance to miss to...
Get her off the TV.
Any putt that he had a chance to like bring someone else back into the tournament, he just made.
Yeah.
And he was just super solid. And ended up, as you look at the leaderboard now, I mean, Rory McIlroy chipped in for birdie on 18. And now he misses one.
And he kind of blew it by a little bit.
What a joke.
How many more can he miss here?
Let's see him go with the full-on, like,
Need a 5 putt from here?
Yeah, the back and forth. I think he'd still win with a 5 putt, but...
So we'll see some action.
We did have a 5 putt in this tournament.
Who was
Kevin Na.
Oh, of course it was.
Kevin
He's
Na
probably going for the quick reach.
on 12.
Okay.
Too. Yeah, he had the patented 5 putt. Scotty's caddy's like, all right, dude, come on. Let's clean it up.
Teddy Scott. Another thing, real quick. Well, first of all, I think touching on Scotty's short game, that chip in on 3, was it 3? That proves to be the shot of the tournament at this point because the moment.
Oh my God,
he missed again.
Show his girlfriend crying.
He missed again.
Show her.
Dude, with this,
Look at 10.
can you imagine if Cam Smith was at 10?
Oh my God,
And
dude,
that-
I'm sick.
They all stood up and
I think
cheered
he
for
would have
him.
made it. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, nobody cheers for me when I 4 putt.
Hey,
Dude,
next time.
So
I
this
got you next time.
This reminds me of a
Thank you.
bit of what I did at my player ability test. So you have to get to a certain number, right? And you know that number. The last hole I could make bogey on a par 5 course that not even exists. It doesn't even exist anymore in Denver.
What was it called?
This is not a shorter putt.
I don't remember.
It's
But I had
pull it.
I had 8 feet.
Okay.
He finally got it.
Yeah, making double. Yeah.
Double bogey, 10 under.
71, 1 by 3.
But I basically had 8 feet for birdie, and I needed to make bogey. I snuggled it up to 3 feet, snuggled it up to an inch, and tapped it in.
Wow.
Made the cut right on the number. That's how we do it.
What was that number?
So it was 151. So
Okay.
and you have to play 36 holes in
Okay.
one day. And it's generally based on the course rating and the tees you play.
That makes sense.
And so you just basically have to shoot, I had to shoot 75, 76, and that's exactly what I did, 75, 76. But, like, you're in your head the whole time, like, okay, what's the number that I have to get to? Like, and you should know. If you don't know, you're just an idiot. Because, like, if you go to 17, 18, you're like, I have to make 2 birdies. Like, you're obviously going to play a little more aggressive. Or vice versa, if you can make 2 bogeys, you do what Scottie just did, and he laid up on the par 5s, coming down the stretch, which he normally wouldn't have done. Flip the script,
Yeah.
And so here's an interesting question for you guys. I want both your takes on this. How much more fun would golf tournaments be if the leaders or anybody on the course never knew what anyone else was at? Do you think it'd make for more drama or less drama?
I think it'd be less. I like the idea, but I think that you wind up like there's so many situations where the guy in the last group doesn't win. And in those situations, you want them to know, like, okay, I need an eagle here, or I need a birdie here. You got to make something happen. Although, I mean, in this case, it would have been nice for him to
imagine
be nervous when he's missing those late putts.
Yeah, him just playing, right? Like today with Augusta, one of the patented things about Augusta is you can hear the roars from everywhere. Yeah. Like when Rory chipped in on 18, you got to think Scotty's like, whoa, like, he wasn't worried about Cam at that point because Cam had made the triple on 12. He was more worried about, like, all right, I just need to figure. I mean, he's worried about himself mostly anyways. Yeah. That's the way to go. Yeah. But when he hears that, he's thinking, oh, shit, what just happened? Because that was back-to-back sand shots going in on 18 for Morikawa and McIlroy had to be quite the roar of the tournament.
See, I actually kind of like that. Like, the fact that Scottie could have stood over that second putt and been like, I need this.
Yeah.
You know, not knowing that he didn't need it. So I think that would be pretty electric because it would force guys to pretty much be as aggressive, not like pick their spots. You know, they come into the week with intentions of playing a hole a certain way, and they want to stick to that. But I guarantee you, Scottie played this hole back nine different than he had anticipated this entire week, because he went in with I don't think if you would have asked him, he wouldn't have had a 4-shot lead going in the back nine. So, you know, no matter how good you are, you're never like, oh yeah, I'm going to be leading a major by 4 going into the back nine. You know, so I mean, you definitely alter your play depending on where you stand within the leaderboard. I do like her dress though. That's good. Good work for her. But I think that it would be a little bit more fun to have those guys just continue to push to where they want to get to, you know what I mean? Where not where they need to get to, but where in their mind they're like, okay, if I can get to 10 under, 11 under, 12 under, whatever, then I feel comfortable there. You know, it's almost just adds another element to it a little bit. But I do get I think there's definitely two sides to it.
It just depends on the situation.
Exactly. What do you think, Spencer?
Well, so I think you would have to do it like Hank said, on situation. If a guy is down going into the last couple holes and they're the last group, like, they need to know.
Yeah.
But I think it would make for a more, like, don't get me wrong, Scottie did what he had to do to win this tournament. Now, this debacle, pretty funny on 18. Like, I enjoyed that.
I did too.
But
Could be like a not top 10.
But if he's going into 13 and 15, he doesn't lay up on both of those holes if he doesn't have an idea of where he's at. Or I guess maybe he does if he's in certain positions, but he was in perfect position on both of those gettable fives and laid up twice because he didn't want to make a bogey. He wasn't worried about making birdie because he knew where he was at. And
exactly, that's what I was getting at also.
And I will say, those of you that follow us on Twitter, make sure you're doing that at Big Drive Energy. Now, none of our official picks from the beginning were great. I'll admit that. But I did go on there and say to put the rest of your account, RK, he did it, put the rest of your account on Scottie Scheffler. What were they thinking? You know, like,
when did you say that?
What was on Friday afternoon?
Oh, okay.
He had a 5-shot lead and he was minus 105.
What?
Exactly. Am I missing? Like, obviously he won now, so we can always look back and think hindsight's 2020. But
for sure,
this is the hottest player on the planet with a 5-shot lead. Now, if this is freaking X player, name one, you know, that hasn't won 4 of his last 6 events.
I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I was gonna name some shitty player.
Oh yeah, well, Tiger. Well, I mean, if it's Tiger,
Hey.
But if it's Tiger,
No.
Honestly, let's flip the script here. If it's Tiger with a 5-shot lead at Friday, does he hold on for sure? Like, are you that confident in it?
But he's so old.
But that's the thing too, is the lines are there for Vegas's purposes of getting action on that line. So I guarantee you, if Tiger had a 5-shot lead, everybody's betting the absolute shit out of that. So it's going to be minus 150 to 200, I bet. But they're trying to bait people into a guy. I mean, if you would have said 2 months ago, this guy is going to win 4 of 6 weeks. Oh, they're just showing this shitty shot again.
Yeah, that was the shot of the tournament there. Because
100%.
Cam Smith was in the exact same spot. Yep. There was only a 2-shot difference at that point. And if that doesn't hit the flag, that's 10 to 15 feet past minimum.
Well, and I thought that was interesting, too, that Cam watched him play that bump and run into the slope and hole it. And there's an element of luck for sure. But he then chose to go up high with it, didn't even get it close, flew it past the hole, ended up with a 20-footer for par, you know. So that kind of surprised me also, that he didn't take a page out of Scottie's book and play something into that slope, because that was a very tough shot. And let's even go back to the shot before that. He should have taken a drop. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
His approach shot, he could have gotten a drop from like a couple of was it sprinkler heads?
It was like,
or covers,
like covers. Yeah, exactly,
a couple like
boxes.
Yeah, and he was kind of sitting in an awkward spot, didn't take a drop, ends up kind of scooping it. He misses the green from 60 yards, and makes bogey there when he easily could have been looking at 3 or at the very least 4, and that kind of gave, like, imagine if Cam was sitting on that green 5-6 feet away for birdie. Scottie's got a totally different mindset going into that shot. So, and it's all just a game of shoulda, woulda, coulda, but there's a few defined times when the script just got flipped, when you thought it was going to go one way and it went in a different direction.
It's got to feel better for Cameron Champ. Cameron Smith. Wow.
What does he have? Cryo tape on it, or what is that called? Rock tape.
Oh yeah.
In his armpit. Did you see
Interesting.
that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, he had like some tape like up in here.
He probably blames whatever's going on there whenever he hits a bad shot.
Exactly.
That'd be
Like,
the Tiger
how
move.
uncomfortable does that have to be? Anyways, go ahead.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
but like, it would be one thing to be kind of like kicking yourself if you finish this round the way that you do and don't win the Masters, if you wind up only needing 8 or 9 under to win. You know, after seeing how this kind of finished, and I mean, we can take out those last couple shots, but Scottie Scheffler just kind of ran the field, and so I don't think that Cameron Smith can be all that upset with himself. Because he knew it was a tough challenge coming into the day too. Like, he was so far back, and things broke well early, but
and
you can't be too upset.
Oh, for sure, I agree. But let's go back to Cameron Smith's first round. He makes double bogey on 1, double bogey on 18, and shoots 4 under. Like, imagine another hypothetical. Imagine he doesn't make those 2 double bogeys. He's 8 under the first day. He may never look back. He may go wire to wire.
Yep.
You know, that's the insane thing is 1 or 2 holes can change the entire outlook of the golf tournament. And obviously you're not looking at it Sunday afternoon saying what happened Thursday. But it's a domino effect, you know. He shoots 8 under the first day, then other guys are chasing him, they're pressing, they're playing differently. But the fact that he kind of brought himself back to the field, even say he doesn't make the last double on 18, you know, he still shoots 6 under. He's what is
Still
Scottie?
the outright leader.
Yeah, Scottie
He-
was 5, right?
No, Sanjay M was at 5 under.
Oh, Sanjay was at
Scottie
5.
was at 3.
3? Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then he shot, so he went 69, 67, so he was 8, and that's when he was free and clear, because Friday, everybody else was horrible. I think, you know, Cam shot 74 on Friday.
Yeah.
He was not good. And, you know, the Cam's just a gamer, but I will give obviously, you got to give a quick shout out to DraftKings Sportsbook, where we do all of our betting. The question for you guys is, are we missing the mark? Do we have to auto bet Scottie Scheffler now every tournament he enters for the next X amount of time? Because should we have done it before this event?
Oh, for sure.
Should he have been in our? Because I can guarantee you, I told myself when me and Hank talked about it on bets on Tuesday, Tiger was an auto bet because he, not at the fact that we thought he was going to win. It's like, if he wins and you're not on it, you're the biggest idiot in the world.
FOMO through the roof.
And I can tell you right now, all the people at DraftKings, all these other different sports books are having a party the fact that Tiger Woods did not win. Because I did hear, I forget, it was on the radio on Friday.
Millions.
They were like, what if Tiger wins this tournament, blah, blah, blah. And the guy was like, straight up, he was like a CEO of a sports book or something. He was like, I don't know if I'm going to have a job if Tiger wins this tournament. That's how insane it was.
Yeah, people auto bet Tiger.
Yeah.
But Scottie Scheffler's becoming, he should have been an auto bet.
Absolutely.
Like,
Well, see, the thing is though, is like we're late. I think we're too late. Like, this is not.
I said that before this.
This is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. It's like with the stock market. When your dentist is telling you about a stock to get on, it's too late. Like, he's won 4 times in 2 months. I love the dentist.
Really?
Yeah.
Never trust Mitch.
I mean, you're not completely off the mark there, but it kind of along those same lines where Spence and I looked this up yesterday. Here's a fun fact, and I'm just going to tell you because I guarantee you'll never guess it. No offense to you. I had no idea. There's been 2 in the last, like, in the current era of golf, which is not like basically 1980 and on. There's been 2 players to win 9 events in 1 season. Can you guess those 2 players?
Tiger.
Okay. Guess.
Who got like weirdly hot? Like, honestly, like
you'll
maybe
never guess
even like
it.
Bryson.
No.
What was the best he did? Because it couldn't have gotten close to
I
9.
think Bryson's
like
won
4,
three or
5?
4.
Okay.
I think he's at 3 or 4. It was VJ Singh. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, exactly. That was my face too. That's when he was on the deer antler.
Oh, wow.
Do you remember the deer antler spray that he got suspended from the tour
I hadn't
from?
thought about that in forever.
I'm just
Like,
kidding. I
remember
think
my
it was before that. Like,
dad's golf friends bringing that up when I was little and me not understanding at all.
apparently, like, it keeps you bricked up all day, like deer antlers. So VJ's just walking around with it waistbanded or something. I don't know exactly how he was operating and playing such good golf under those conditions. But yeah, VJ and Tiger are the only two to win nine events, and then Tiger I think has won 8 events in one season twice. So in a 3-season span, he had, quick math, 25 wins, which is pretty fucking wild. I mean, he's gonna go down as the most winningest golfer of all time. But yeah, 8 wins in a think about that. The season Scottie's already had, and I mean, it does kind of seem doable because it's fucking April.
Yeah.
Like, he's done this in 57 days. 4 wins in 57 days.
Like, why can't he just be the next great golfer? Like, everybody's so quick to crown people, and there have been, like, a bunch of them, but what he's doing, and he's only 25, like...
Oh, for sure.
The Masters kind of legitimizes all of it.
He could be. I want to see him get a little more outspoken in his interviews. Like, he's not the face of golf that I necessarily want. You know, he's he's vanilla. Even
Buzz Lightyear's face.
Yeah, exactly. The butt chin and everything.
Scottie Lightyear.
Yeah, dude,
Lightyear.
that's actually very true, dude. That's a great T-shirt idea.
Yeah, we got to make Scottie Lightyear.
Like with just the circle on his, like that circle drawn on his chin. But I would compare this season too to like, we're at the point where, when the Nuggets score like 20 points in the first 4 minutes of a game, and you're like, oh, they're on track to score like 180 points tonight. Like, if he keeps on this pace, he could win 12 events by the end of the season. But is that going to happen? Is that sustainable?
Yeah, I'll say I'm going to keep taking him to win until he doesn't twice. I'm going to get burned twice, then I'm out.
That's fair.
Here's another comparison that's kind of like a blackjack hand. You're like, if I lose 3 straight hands, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, and so going back to talking about Tiger's,
DraftKings?
Tiger's 2000 season, all right? He had 10 wins, a T5, a second, a third, T11, T23, T3, T4, 5, second, T2, and won 10 other events. That's what he did in 2000.
This is incredible.
So but honestly, like, I think it's just the want for golf fans in general to have that again.
Totally.
To have a guy that everybody's like, he's like a superhero.
There he is.
And that's what Scottie feels like right now, but that's what Rory felt like at one time.
Yep.
That's what Jordan Spieth felt like at one time.
Justin Thomas hit that.
Even Bryson for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, he's winning every tournament he can play in.
Did you see Bryson shot 26 over the first 2 rounds?
That makes me so happy.
Because it's a par.
I want to watch
par
every one of those
It's a par
shots.
67. You remember? And
For
he shot
him.
when he said this place is a par 67
That's
to me,
right.
he shot 80 both days today or
And
this week.
Another shout out to
What a treat!
Another shout out to
Nothing makes me happy.
DraftKings Sportsbook, because they had an awesome promo. I think Bryson's one of their athletes, must be, because they had a promo for the first round. Like, if you bet, I believe it was $10, every birdie that Bryson makes, you get a $25 free bet. The guy made one fucking birdie. Like, this is your fault. This is your this is your fault, Bryson.
Spencer's getting all
This isn't
worked up.
DraftKings' fault. They were trying to give their clients and all their customers free money, and you come out here and shoot fucking 27 over in 2 days. Go home. Like, what a bum.
He was actually 16 over, but since he says a par 67.
Yes.
Real quick, I just saw Bubba crying on TV again. Verbal meme. Scottie Scheffler's wife, Bubba Watson, crying.
Wow. No Sean Marino in there too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I don't think anybody's cried as well as No Sean Moreno. But, yeah, obviously, we'll see what happens. I don't see Scottie being that guy. I just don't. Like, I think he's going to be really good, but I don't know if there's ever going to be a super dominant PGA Tour player anymore because the field is so deep. Even compared to 22 years ago when Tiger was in his heyday, there was probably legitimately 10 to 15 guys that could win any given week. There's 50. Like, how many first-time winners have we had this year? 4 or 5 already?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just think the PGA Tour is too deep where this is already a dominant season, but this is what he's basically had a dominant season in the span of less than 2 months. But I think this is what a dominant season looks like going forward on the PGA Tour. I don't see anybody really ever again winning 8, 9, 10 times in a year. I could be wrong, but that's where I see it. So
this is kind of unrelated, but we were talking on the bet show before the tournament. Back in 1997, when Tiger won his Masters, the average age of a winner on tour was 10 years older than this season.
That's insane.
Or last season,
Yeah.
I guess, the full season.
Yeah.
But that's just wild to think about. It's all these young guys winning, and you almost wonder if it's like athleticism. Now all these courses are longer. You just need to have all of that strength. You need to be that good of an athlete to be able to compete, just like in other sports.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, if you look at other sports too, it's along those same lines of they're getting better younger. Like these guys are. Look at Joaquin Niemann. He's 21 or 22, and he's been on tour for 4 or 5 years. Like people are getting, these guys are getting more comfortable quicker. Just like guys coming out of college that are ready for the NFL. They're NFL ready. There's guys in college and even in high school right now, you look at them and you're like, yeah, they're going to play on tour. And they're probably going to do pretty fucking well. So it's just the athlete in general has evolved, I feel like, so much in the last 20, 25 years. Because you look at some of the names of the guys that won the Masters in the past, you've never heard of them.
Yeah.
You know, like 50, 60, 70 years ago. And that's because they weren't all-time good. Like, it didn't take near as much to win back then as it does now. So, Scotty's getting a little tear in his eye.
Again.
I know.
He keeps winning. He can't be crying. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God.
Soft.
Yeah. Very soft.
It's Texas soft.
Yeah. How cool would it be to be Jim Nance? Like, you get to sit in on all the coolest shit. Like, he's basically moderating this Green Masters, this Green Jacket ceremony. He just gets to do all the coolest stuff in the sports.
Well, did you guys see, speaking of jackets, now that Scotty's actually won this, did you see yesterday?
Him trying to take it off?
He was fighting with his vest. But for, like, what? I guess maybe, I don't know, do you guys have that issue? Like, I can't necessarily swing a golf club with, like, anything over my wrists, but I can pull, like, my jacket up to here. But he had his vest on and off 50 times yesterday, every single golf shot he hit.
Ted Scott definitely earned his money yesterday, for sure, with handing him the jacket, taking it off, handing it back. But he's familiar with that because he caddied for Bubba Watson, so he probably thought that was a walk in the park. Oh, he's butchering it.
Oh, my goodness, it's incredible.
Oh, he's butchering it. Oh. Hideki's like
he's he's never worn a jacket before. He's like trying to figure out where the sleeve is in a jacket. It's in the same place in every jacket.
He's like treating it like overalls. Like, how do I clip this thing in here? Like, that was just a lame Texas joke. But real quick, first reactions, his Champions Dinner next year. It's going to be so vanilla. It's going to be like fucking brisket and cornbread.
I was going to say the same thing.
Maybe some short ribs.
Short ribs are in right now. I feel like everybody just has short ribs on their menu.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some sort of
fire.
Texas themed. Like, Texans are like slowly starting to dominate the Masters between Spieth, now Scheffler. Like, I feel like, especially this week, does Scottie Scheffler win this Masters if it's not windy the first 3 days? Is it a different field?
I think so. Because the way he controls his ball flight, like, he hits that low. Not necessarily low, he can hit it high when he wants to, but he has that trajectory control that some guys don't. Like, even Cameron Smith. Like, I don't think he plays the same. Just in a nutshell, those two different chip shots on number 3. Scotty banks it into the slope, it goes in. Cam's like, I'm taking it up high, it goes 20 feet by. So I don't know if Cam doesn't have that shot or if he does, but he obviously didn't do it there. So I definitely think there's an element to him controlling his trajectory and how that played out this week.
And Joaquin Niemann too.
Yeah,
like it's another one of those the low flight.
Talk
where he's
about
hot
some
those first couple days.
Beams.
Exactly.
Oh my god, dude!
And Tiger does some of that stuff too.
He can
like in those
for
first
sure.
couple days when he's playing everything low.
Yeah, like I remember Niemann. I was watching him at the Tournament of Champions at Kapalua, where it's always windy. You kind of need to keep your trajectory in control. Which ironically, Cam Smith won, so maybe I'm wrong, which is very possible. I'm pretty used to that. It's pretty normal, but I saw Niemann hitting like drivers like 5 feet off the ground. I was like, that's so sick. Yeah. I don't have that in the bag flat out. No. Like, I'd have to hit it off the deck and it'd still go higher than that, just because I have way too much spin on the ball, and that's my own fault. But I digress.
Quick shout out to NHR 333 took home the first place, which was the TaylorMade Spider putter in our Masters pool. He ended up with 103 points. I'm not sure. I can't really like.
Doesn't it just say username?
It just says username. But so NHR33. Make sure you're hitting us up on Twitter. Want to give you a shout out and be able to get that.
Oh, was it
NHR 333? And you don't have the name?
No.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, Hank.
Yeah, I'll take that putter.
Oh,
He had
that's gorgeous.
Harold Varner III, Dustin Johnson, Scottie Scheffler, and Cam Smith.
Holy
So,
shit.
That's solid.
Pretty,
That is
pretty
nasty.
solid.
Where did
lineup
I
there.
finish? Does it have a...
I finished 37th.
Okay, nice.
I don't
not
think
bad.
I did great.
And then I also got to give a shout out to Diced Carrots. Diced Carrots, second place. He had Sam Burns, Dustin Johnson, Scottie Scheffler, and Cam Smith. So it basically came down to the first timers and having
Burns.
Harold Varner III making the cut over Sam Burns, who didn't make the cut.
HV3 played pretty well, too, this week, so
Yeah,
good for
he
him.
did. I had Tom Hoagie, Adam Scott, Tony Finau, and Cam Smith. So.
Is there an uglier-looking dude on tour than Tom Hoagie? Have you seen that guy's face?
No.
Oh, it's horrendous.
He won this year, too.
Yeah, first-time winner this year. Oh, he won at Pebble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to just drag Tom like that out of nowhere, but just that his face is made for radio. You know, it happens. He's a golfer, so it's all good.
But yeah, so I mean, shout out to Scottie Scheffler. I mean, really just a true dominating performance. Didn't make it fun unless you had his ticket. People, I think there was a few moments yesterday where, yesterday there was no worry of him winning it.
Do you think it was on 12 today when people finally could take that deep breath, that bet on him?
Yeah, because 11, I guarantee it was cinched. You were cinched after 11, and after. But like to me, you can't ever win a tournament on a Thursday. You can never win on a Sunday in the third hole. But when he chipped that one in, those are like every golf tournament that somebody wins. There's a shot that you
like
can
a defining
a defining moment shot, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
and you kind of knew that was it right there. So. Shout out to Scotty. We will see you all. Next live show is going to be after the PGA Championship, May 16th through 23rd.
It's so wild. The PGA's already next month.
Southern Hills,
I hate-
Tulsa, Oklahoma. So,
Nice.
Hank, thank you for joining us, sir.
yeah.
We appreciate it. Mitchell. For me, Big Drive Spence, appreciate you guys all joining us. Make sure you follow along. We're about to have some awesome stuff coming out. Maybe a tournament schedule coming out late this week for some golf tournaments around Colorado. We got a really cool idea for some of the top teams of those tournaments, kind of going to make it into a competitive event at the end of the year. So make sure you're tuning in for that. Follow us on Twitter at Big Drive Energy, Instagram at Big Drive Energy Pod. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll talk to you guys after the PGA Championship, May 22nd.
Peace.